So the feeble and weak went into the palace, and Greatheart and the rest followed. And they were inside and seated. The shepherd said to those of the weaker sort, "What is it that you would like to have?" For the shepherds said all things must be managed to support the weak as well as to warn the unruly. So they made them a feast of easily digested food that were tasty and nourishing. After they had eaten, they went to lie down, with each one going to their respective and proper place. When morning came, the day was clear. There, high in the mountains, as was the custom of the shepherds, they planned to show the pilgrims some rare and uncommon things before their departure. After the pilgrims had refreshed themselves and were ready, the shepherds took them out into the fields and first showed them what they had shown to Christian when he was there. Then they led them to some new places. The first was Mount Marvel. From here they saw a man in the distance who disturbed the quiet of the hills with words. The pilgrims turned to the shepherds and asked, "What does this mean?" The shepherds told them, "That man is the son of one Mr. Great Grace. He is the same man whom you read about in the first part of the records of the Pilgrim's Progress. He teaches pilgrims how to believe down to their core and how to turn one way or the other as they meet difficulties by faith. Truly I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, 'Be taken up and cast into the sea,' and does not doubt in his heart, but he believes that what he says is going to happen, it will be granted him. Therefore I say to you, all things for which you pray and ask, believe that you have received them, and they will be granted you." Mark chapter 11, verses 23 to 24. Then Greatheart said, "I know him. He is a man above many." Then the shepherds brought them to another place called Mount Innocence. Here they saw a man clothed all in white, along with two men by the names of Prejudice and Ill Will. These two men continually threw dirt upon the man in white. Now, whatever dirt they threw at him would just fall off again after a short time, and his garment would look as clean and white as if no dirt had ever touched it. The pilgrims asked, "What means this?" The shepherds answered, "This man is named Godly Man, and this white garment shows the innocence of his life. Now those who threw dirt at him are men who hate his good conduct. But as you see, the dirt will not stick on his clothes. This is how it shall be with those who live innocently in the world. Whoever tries to make such men dirty labor in vain. For when such men spend a little time with God, their innocence shall shine forth like light, and their righteousness as bright as the sun at noon." Then they took them to Mount Charity, where they showed them a man who had a bundle of cloth lying before him. Out of this cloth he cut coats and other garments for the poor who stood around him. Yet his bundle and roll of cloth never became any less. "What does this mean?" the pilgrims asked. "This is to show you that one who has a heart to give of his labor to the poor shall never lack. He who waters shall himself be watered, and the cake that the widow gave to the prophet did not result in any less in her barrel." The shepherds then escorted them to the place where they saw one fool and one want-wit washing an Ethiopian with dark skin, with the intention of making him white. But the more they washed him, the blacker he became. Again, they asked the shepherds the meaning of what they saw. The shepherds said, "This is an example of how it is with a vile person who uses all means in their own strength to get a good name. In the end, all their effort only results in making them more abominable. This is how it was with the Pharisees, and this is also how it shall be with all hypocrites." Then Mercy, the wife of Matthew, said to Christiana, "Mother, if possible, I would like to see the hole in the hill that is commonly called the byway to hell." So her mother revealed her thought to the shepherds, and so they went to the door on the side of the hill, opened it, and told Mercy to listen for a while. So she listened and heard one saying, "Cursed be my father for holding me back from the way of peace and life." Another said, "Oh, if only I had been torn in pieces before I had lost my soul to save my life." And another said, "If I were to live again, how I would deny myself rather than to end up living in this place." Then a noise emanated from the door, as if the very earth groaned and quaked under Mercy's feet. The color drained from her face, and she walked away trembling and said, "Blessed are they who are delivered from this place." Now, when the shepherds had shown them all these things, they took them back to the palace and showed them hospitality with all the house had to offer. But Mercy, being a young married woman, longed for something she saw there, but was ashamed to ask for it. Christiana could tell something was bothering her, and asked her what troubled her, because she didn't look well. Mercy said, "There is a looking-glass which hangs in the dining room." She glanced at her mother-in-law and back at the floor. "I can't stop thinking about it. I feel that if I don't have it, I shall miscarry." Christiana said, "I will mention your desire for the mirror to the shepherds, and they will not deny you your desire." Mercy let out a deep sigh. "I am ashamed to admit to these men that I long for it in such a way." "No, my daughter, don't feel that way. There is no shame in such longing for it as a virtue to long for such a thing as that." "If that is the case," Mercy said, "then, mother, if you are willing, please ask the shepherds if they are willing to sell it." Now the looking-glass was one of 1,000. It had the special ability to reflect a man with his own features exactly. But when it was turned another way, it showed one the very face and likeness of the Prince of Pilgrims himself. I have talked with those who have seen it first hand, and they have said they have seen the very crown of thorns upon his head when looking in that mirror. They have also seen the holes in his hands, his feet, and his side. And this mirror has an outstanding feature that reveals him to anyone who has a mind to see him, whether living or dead, on earth or in heaven, in a state of humiliation or in exaltation, or whether they come to suffer or to reign. But we all, with unveiled face, beholding as in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image from glory to glory, just as from the Lord the Spirit. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18. Christiana went to the shepherds alone. Now the names of the shepherds were Knowledge, Experience, Watchful, and Sincere. And she said, "One of my daughters, who is pregnant, longs for something that she has seen in this house, and she thinks that if she is denied by you, that she shall miscarry."